Right. So, some of you may or may not notice that this bit up here has been done. I was feeling ill the last time I was in here, as most of you know, and I decided to try and do one episode that wasn't Twitch streamed. And I didn't really say anything in it. And I just wanted to see people's reactions to when I'm actually not speaking and doing paint by numbers. So it was more of a test, really, just to see. I'm kind of thinking I might have to put some of that stuff in here. This paint's gone very dry. So, welcome in, everyone. I've had a little update in the computer room, and my wife, even though she's ill, and my son have spent the last 2 days putting up my hot toys on shelves in my computer room behind me. So the big TV's now gone. That's no longer a thing in this room. But I have my hot toys on display now. It's not my entire collection. It's my entire collection of hot toys, but it's not my entire collection of figurines and stuff, because there's just not enough room in here. But it was nice to be able to get them from the man cave up the shed and put in my computer room. So I was very excited and happy about that. Let me just move that forward a bit. There's no lights on them just yet. They're just sat on a shelf that's been built, but they're in here and they're up. So I suppose the next thing I've got to do is try and think about lighting to show them off a bit, you know. So I guess that will be the next thing to do. But Rome wasn't built in a day because I wasn't the foreman. My apologies again. I feel like I apologise so much for not being around and doing this. And the only reason I apologise is because, you know, I want to do it. But I'm not going to keep harping on that like I do in almost every one of my paint by numbers. I'm going to try and keep it light-hearted and fun, which would be nice for everybody involved. Now, you go up to be number 4, don't you? Okay, so that must be where that ended then. Obviously wasn't watching that properly. It's awkward as well, going from different glasses. I find that I have a bit of an adjustment period. I don't know if anybody else that wears glasses, and wears 2 pairs of glasses, has that. It's not been so bad since I've been using bifocals, but yeah, it still happens. Yeah, it's been an interesting couple of days. Just so glad to be back and doing stuff. So I was kind of banished to the bedroom whilst they were doing it. But yeah, it was a nice surprise. They tried to make it a surprise for me, but there was problems with the walls and stuff, and they know that I know what I'm doing when it comes to that sort of stuff, so they had to ask my opinion on things, so I had to come in and see it. But that doesn't take anything away from the gesture of them just being really nice. You know, so I'm going to be adapting some more lighting in here soon. It also depends as to whether or not and when I can afford it, because despite the vibe I'm giving off, I'm genuinely not made of money. Fortunately, the shelving is just old loft boards and L brackets. But they still look pretty good, I have to be honest. And they did a good job.
Supplies!
Oh, hello. Mr. Pitbull. It's kind of funny because my youngest, Jack, he's the one that put all this up. He doesn't have a DIY bone in his body. Normally. Like, he's all right with the humping and dumping stuff, but the screwing and drilling, that's not really his forte. And I give him his due. He's done a really good job. Turns out that he may have actually been learning all of these years. You don't need any more points, Pitbull. You got plenty of them. How you doing, buddy, anyway? Yeah, I was just saying, I don't know if you were in here, but I did a bit of paint by numbers off stream, but I recorded it all the same, and I did it for YouTube, and I didn't really say anything in there because I was just trying to gauge like everyone's opinion as to whether or not they prefer talking or not talking. Been grinding Pralia pretty much non-stop all weekend. Well, as it turns out, Mr. Pitbull, as soon as I finish doing this, and we all know that I only have about an hour and a half in me to do this before I'm in lots of pain, we are going on to do a mass cake cooking party if you are so inclined and have the time to join. We would love to have you. Yes, so if you're up for it, like I said, as soon as I finish doing this, because we found out that they're nerfing the money that you get from cakes on Tuesday. So like all good decent gamers, we are exploiting the fact beforehand. We figured we'd do a bit tonight. I should really be on there now, but I really wanted to get on here and do a bit of this because I'd not been near it for a couple of days, like I said. I'm definitely going to have to... This is so awkward doing this at this edge, but I'm definitely going to have to do something with this paint because it is a bit too thick. Just a bit of extra water in a little well in here, and then that shouldn't be as thick in there because it's not spreading too well. I mean, it's covering great, but have a look here. Do I need to run an errand? I do need to run an errand to pick up it. I've been putting it off all day, so I guess I need to go ahead and do it so I can be there for the party. Yeah, cool. Well, like I said, I'm going to be on here for about an hour and a half. I can't see it being much more than that. So then I should be heading on over there. But yes, we would definitely love to have you in there. Hey Kitty, how you doing, beautiful woman? Lovely to see you in here, sweetheart. How are you today? That's that little bit there. And I've just worked out, I probably should have started up here because now I'm going to work back and put the hand in. You're all right. Go. Awesome. It's nice to hear. What are you up to today? Anything exciting? Just playing some Sunken Lands. Yeah, it's a good game, isn't it? I've been enjoying it. I haven't played it since my friend, because my friend bought it for me, and he went away for the weekend. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he went away for the weekend with his mate, and I figured I wasn't going to play it without him, you know? I mean, I will play the game without him at some point, but I just wanted to kind of finish off the content with him first of all, you know? Can you not? I know I've got my fan on, because unfortunately we've got really bad winds here, and I can't have my windows open, so I've got the fan on to try and cool me down a bit. But I'm actually thinking my graphics card is saying, well, you're welcome to join me later if you're up for it. Oh, yeah, I might do. Don't hold me to it, because I'm so unreliable these days. But if I can, I probably will do. I'm going to be playing a bit of I've done it already, haven't I? Okay. I'm going to be playing Palia with my wife and Lindy and Pitbull, because we're trying to do the cake stuff before they nerf it. So if I don't get near it today, we're definitely going to play something soon. We're definitely going to do something on stream and off stream, because I do want to play with you. Oh, thank you. I refuse to play that game. Don't need another addiction. It's really good. I gotta be honest with you, it's really good. Like we've all been, yeah, addiction is probably the right word. We've all been heavily addicted to it, and considering it is a free to play game, it's like there's no real reason to not jump in, you know, other than the fact of not needing something else to be addicted to. But I completely get what you're saying. Let me just do this number 4 bit here, because every time I look up, all I keep doing is looking at that, and I don't need to be. We just But how have you been the last few days, darling? Did you feel any difference on those tablets? I'm really curious. And did you try any of the recipes out of that book? Not really. It's not addicting. I can stop whenever I want, Riches. The recipes, no, because I need to do a shop. Right, okay, gotcha. Do you know, you're the first person that said they haven't felt anything, which is, yeah, it's weird. Really weird. Well, I'm sorry, but I mean, like, it's done such a world of good for me and my missus and the other people that I've told it about. I'm sorry it hasn't worked for you, sweetheart. Genuinely. Oh, then again, when I wake up, I'm awake and not groggy. Well, then in that case, then maybe that's because that was one of the biggest things that my wife noticed. Like when she gets up in the morning, she can just get up. And like when she does stuff now, it's not like it's like, you know, it's a miracle thing and then you're going to wake up and, oh my God, I feel like 1,000 times better. It's just like, it was little things that she noticed. And then, of course, they kind of got a little bit better over time. But it's not like it, because let's face it, if it was as good as what, you know, we would hope it to be, we'd all be zipping around like the Flash, you know. But it just, when you look at the science behind it and then you start to see that you've got an improvement, you kind of realise that you are vitamin deficiency in some way. Because that's all that is basically all the vitamins and minerals that the body needs. Kind of proves the point. You know what I mean? But let's face it, I don't know about you, but I'll take any kind of improvement right now. Yeah. Let's take that in here. Yeah. there. There's a lot of number 4 here. Can't look up for a minute because if I lose this spot, I will never get back to it. Well, I will, but you know what I mean. It's such a lovely comment from somebody on YouTube. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was basically saying that the painting I'm doing is beautiful and how nice it is to watch it unfolding before their eyes. I thought that was such a nice thing to say. And you know, not many people leave comments on YouTube and like that, and when you get one, it just gives me a okay, back in a sec, we're off to raid the Mutant Island. No worries, darling, thank you for the lurk, I appreciate it, sweetheart. Good luck on the raid. Yeah, I don't get many comments on my videos, and it's just really nice when somebody takes the time to just leave a nice comment like that. So it kind of cheered me up. But I figured I'd come in here and I'd do some paint by numbers purely because my granddaughter's birthday is, you know, it's not slowing down. It's still coming. And this is something I would like to be able to give her on her birthday. So I have like over 2 weeks to do it, which should be enough. But what I'm worried about is I'm worried about like not feeling well again and then not being able to do anything on it. Basically just me being paranoid as usual. Yeah. There is like this sweet spot to painting, and it's not the bottom corners like I'm doing at the moment. It's kind of like just here, and I don't seem to get a lot that's in the sweet spot. It's always in the awkward spots. But that's just because of the way I'm sitting and my chair and stuff. Like I said, at some point I am going to try to redesign my art station that I've got over here to make it a lot more comfortable, so I could do some longer streams on this. Because like the other day, the reason why I did the YouTube, it was actually the I'm gonna say this to future me, because you know it'll actually be on the video that was before this one on YouTube. That should be the one that's got me being mostly silent, well, completely silent really, until the end, and then I actually ask if people preferred it like that, or do you prefer me being chatty? Because I don't know. I don't have all the answers. And like my mum and my nan always used to say, if you don't ask, you don't get. Although my life has been mostly me asking and still not getting, but you know, the intention's there. But that wind is really picking up outside. Right. This goes up to about there, and then we can get onto the corner there, I guess. So let's do this bit down here. Of course, this also takes me a lot longer to do because my hand is at an awkward angle. I feel like I should be pushing this up. Actually, I don't know why I didn't think of that before. I could just push it up, Mark. You know, it's not complicated, is it? I wonder how many of you out there were just saying that. And it is very warm in here, like I said, and no sooner does the paint touch the canvas, it's like boom, that's your lot. See if I can just wet the canvas a little bit without making it too thin. Can add a bit to that. Because at the end of this, once this is all finished, I can always go over any bits that really need to be gone over. Let me see if I can get this bit down here. And of course, I'm kind of working against this brush, which is got I don't know if you guys can see that, probably not, but it's got a tail on the end which is turning inwards, which is like a hook, which usually means I've got to get a new brush. And like these brushes are not ridiculously expensive, but when you got to buy one every second or third paint by numbers, because I don't really like using the standard brushes. I find that these brushes are so much better. They're so much more controllable, until obviously they start to get the hook on them. I have watched kind of YouTube videos and stuff of people that have managed to, they say to put them in this kind of solution or do that or whatever. And I've followed a couple of them, but I've never really found any of them that have been particularly successful. So, well, when I say any of them, I mean any of them haven't been successful. Just have some coffee here. Let's come down here. I usually like doing a bit of paint by numbers on a Sunday. Going to be nice when I can get nearby Lego figures as well. I've been putting them off because I don't really have anywhere to put them. And the problem is when the Lego figures made, they're quite flimsy to like little knocks or whatever else. So it's like just trying to forward think as to whether or not I can find somewhere to actually display them. It doesn't help having such a small room, but you know, we'll make it work. Let me just wash that off a minute. Brush is getting a little bit on the clumpy side. Let's see if we can thin that down a smidge. There we go. Covering a little bit better now. I should have just used the other stuff, the stuff I actually bought to thin the paint down and to make it fill in properly. I thought it was going to be like a one and done thing, but then when you consider like different temperatures and stuff in here and having the pot open, and it's bound to dry out sooner or later. Now, I had a lighting problem. I thought my lights were breaking. And it turns out that the distribution board that has the USBs on it was obviously drawing too much power, and it was making the lights flicker. So I had a couple of old Amazon USB plugs lying around, the little charging ones. So I decided to put that into the lamp, and that seems to be working perfectly. And then I found out that I had to redo the camera because the lighting was a lot brighter. So yeah. As I've noticed, like the last couple of videos that I've done paint by numbers on, incidentally, since I put this tablet in here that was taking too much power, my light has been flickering a lot. So that's obviously what caused it. But I've got a couple more of these plugs knocking around. It's just a case of finding them and then plugging them in, and that should be the end of that issue. And it's kind of nice getting an issue fixed without it costing any money. It's stuff I already have. I wish more things like that went wrong in my life would do that, to be honest with you. I'm not sure I'm that lucky, but you know, it doesn't hurt to think on those lines. Right. Okay. This. There. How far do you go up? You cut off when you... No, that's a 2. That's a 4 that goes in there. Okay. All right, let me do this bit here so I don't go over it. Which would be nice. And then it... Hello. Come on.